Hey guys, so more chaos still consumes behind me. So this video I wanted to talk about how I organize my planner. So this is my new planner for next year. I personally really love the planners that, and I'll just show you. You get a big month on 2 pages, and then you get weeks broken down. So I went through on Stitch Mania, and I basically picked all of the challenges that I'm pretty sure that I want to be a part of in 2016 that are already posted. Now, I saw earlier today or yesterday, last night, either last night or this morning, on Stitch Mania that more are being added. But I picked my main ones, and so I just kind of wanted to go through my proposed what I'm doing for this year. So there's a couple different year-long challenges posted on Stitch Mania, and a couple of them are really fun. And again, I'll do like monthly my plans where you can see I can talk about the actual patterns. I do have completely January through May at this time planned out, although I did choose to join the pumpkin SAL for this next year, which is the Happily Ever After. And none of that is added in here as of right now. But I just want to tell you some of the themes that I chose to do that are going to run throughout the entire year. There's going to be a lot of new starts, and I created a couple themes for myself, and anyone is welcome to take some of those. And so yeah, let's just talk about my year, a year in review, I guess. So, and like I said, I only have the first 5 months planned out. So I'll definitely still do monthly updates because one, I'm going to want to show you where I am with each piece before I work on it that month. And also, if anything gets added, it'll be like a fun bonus surprise. But January is a little bit different because usually everyone does a new start on January 1st. Well, the first 5 days of January is continuing from the 12 Days of Christmas challenge that starts in December. So I'll be working on that. That'll be days 8 through 12, and I'll be working on the Frosted Pumpkins 12 Days of Christmas. So my New Year, New Start, I'm actually going to do the 6th to the 8th. And one of the year-long kind of things that's going on for 2017 is a seasonal. They broke the year down in quarters, and so January is Whimsical Winter, and you'll see that come back into play in December at the end of the year, but they broke it down into quarters, so December of 2017 and January and February of 2017. That's kind of how it's broken into. So it's kind of like split beginning and the very end of the year, but is Whimsical Winter. So I'm going to be doing that. And for Whimsical Winter in January, February, and December, I'm going to be working on a Christmas pattern. And I didn't mention what I have in mind for my new start. I'm sorry. It's going to be Hillscape by Stitchrovia. But my Whimsical Winter for January, I'm thinking I'm going to start Gingerbread Lane by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. So that'll be really, really, really fun. Another event that's happening in every single month this year is the Color a Day. They did Color a Day this last year, and I believe Color a Day in 2016 was on the 24th. This year, Color of the Day is on the 15th of every month, and this year's theme for every month is going to be the color of the birthstone color of that month. So January is garnet, and I'm hoping to work on my Victoria sponge. It's a very old whip of mine by Stitchrovia. The 16th, and here's kind of where I kind of free-formed my months a little bit, because also every month on the 17th, because it's 2017, every month on the 17th is a new start. So, for the 16th, because it's in between Color a Day and it's in between New Start, I kind of came up with like a theme that I thought would really be good for that month. So for my day 16 in January, it's going to be Let It Whip. And that's so I can continue Victoria Sponge for a second day. Then my new start on the 17th, I'm carrying my new start from the 17th all the way to the 19th. I'm going to work on my Great Britain sampler, also by Stitchrovia. I have a lot of Stitchrovia's patterns, and I haven't worked on anything by her in a long time because I got caught up in the Frosted Pumpkin and Clouds Factory. So this year I'm throwing in a lot of those that I was really waiting for like the perfect time to work on them and that kind of a thing. Then something that I added into every month this year is, and this is because I want to get some of my whips out of my house. Well, not out of my house, but I want to get them finished so that way they no longer whip. They can be finished and I can frame them or whatever I'm going to do with them. I have a weekend whip where it goes from a Friday to a Sunday every month. There's going to be one weekend where it's called Weekend Whip. And in January, again, I'm going to pull out Victoria Sponge because I'll already have it out, and I really just like the idea of it. There are two more year-long challenges, really. There's the Christmas SAL, which basically just means every month you work on something Christmas to prepare for the end of the year. And there's also the Halloween SAL, where every month you, for a few days or however long, you work on something Halloween-themed to prepare for the end of the year. Well, since January has Whimsical Winter, which I'm going to make Christmas themed, I, in January, did not include Christmas SAL, but you will see it come into play in March. But I am doing the Halloween SAL, and in January, I want to work on my Halloween Town by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And this is kind of how, and I'll show you how I kind of like doodle them into my book. I'll just show you one page, but this is kind of how I do it. So I write the theme at the top by the date, and then at the very bottom of the box, I write the pattern that I want to work on. Can you see that? And then I have the blank space in the middle if I have like a doctor's appointment or anything specific that I have to write in there. I still have space to write that, but more like personal things like that, I use the weekly pages mostly for that. So I use the big calendar really to schedule out my stitching and anything like super, super, super important, but anything like kind of mediocre that I like need to do, doctor's appointments and things like that, or if I'm going out of town, would definitely be on the main calendar. But anything like any like store or anything that I like specifically need to do like that week or something, I would put in the weekly days. I also make notes there and things like that, like to-do lists for the week and things like that. For February, and January, okay, so other ones that are happening this next year is every month they're doing kind of like a travel the artist like every month. Well, for a lot of the months, I'm not a big fan of some of those artists, or I don't have any of their stuff, and I'm trying not to buy too much stuff. I'm trying to have a lot of new starts and get things that I already have started, but it's kind of like, I think April is the one that just got added, and it was like Tour the Artist Soda Stitch. That one I may actually start a Soda Stitch in April if I have any room in the month, because I actually do have a couple Soda Stitch patterns and I would like to do one. I just don't know which one yet, but that is something that I may actually incorporate. And but there's also kind of like other themes throughout the month. So I just picked the ones, I picked some yearly ones that I really, really liked, that sounded really cool to me. And then I picked other just other random ones that were just for that month, and then I added my own. So for February, one of the challenges is February fandom, and that's where you can stitch on anything that's a fandom. So in February, the 1st through the 5th, I have in here to work on my Giant Harry Potter by Clouds Factory. And then I do have a bunch of blank dates in some of these months, and those are the days that I haven't decided what I'm going to work on, or if I just need to take some rest days, because I am starting to have massive like carpal tunnel issues, and here recently I've just had to not stitch some nights, or only stitch about an hour because it hurts so bad, and like I've had like numbing issues like in my arms and things like that, but kind of afraid to go to the doctor for it. Random tidbit for you. The 10th through the 13th I have scheduled as Whimsical Winter, and for this one I'm going to have a new start, and I'm going to start on Santa's Coming to Town by Stitchrovia. I've seen a couple of you working on it on Instagram. I think it's such a cute pattern, and this is another reason why I kind of miss working on her type of stuff. She has great typography in all of her patterns. The colors are just fantastic. If you've never seen, well, if you've ever had a Just Cross Stitcher or a Cross Stitcher magazine, in the magazines, her patterns, her name is Emma Congdon. But if you go to Etsy and search for the shop Stitchrovia, that's where you can find a lot of her patterns, and they are fantastic. If typography is something that you think is really pretty and really cool, and she started to do, you know, a lot other types of things, and once they're no longer I guess being held by the magazine, because I asked her once, but the magazines are allowed to hold the patterns that she designs for them for up to 6 months. And after that, she starts putting them on her Etsy shop to buy. So if you ever can't get a pattern from her via a magazine, you can always just wait, and it'll eventually go on her Etsy shop. All right, sorry about that. So the 14th is another one where I kind of gave it its own name, and I named it Love Stitch because it is February. So I want to work on Key to My Heart, which was a pattern that I got out of a magazine by Emma Congdon or Stitchrovia. And it is actually, that pattern is now on her Etsy site. The 15th is Color a Day, and for February that is Amethyst, so I will work on my Giant Harry Potter again. The 16th, the 17th is supposed to be New Whip, or New Start, but I made it for the 16th and decided to start Good Morning, which is by Satsuma Street. It's the rooster. It's so cute. And then the 17th, since it was a Friday, I made the 17th through the 19th my weekend whip, and I wanted to work on Key to My Heart again because it's a pretty quick stitch, and I'm pretty close to finishing it, so I'm really hoping to finish it in February. That would be really great. If not, I'll be pretty close by the end of that. Then I have a big break. The 23rd through the 25th is Mardi Gras. This is a challenge that would probably be better if it was around Mardi Gras, which I think is the week before, but that's okay. So I'm doing it the 23rd to the 25th, And so basically anything with those colors or anything New Orleans or Louisiana themed. So I'm going to work on Good Morning again, the rooster from Satsuma Street, because it has lots of greens and yellows and purples in it, which is perfect because those are Mardi Gras colors. The 26th to the 28th is Halloween SAL, and I plan on working on my Ouija board because it's only one color, it's pretty easy to stitch, and hope maybe I can get good progress or close to being finished because it really is really neat looking. All right, into March. March, a monthly theme that you could choose to do is History Stitch. So I chose a History Stitch from the 1st to the 5th, and I'm going to work on the Great Britain Sampler by Stitchrovia again. Yeah, and then I have a really big break, and the 15th is the color of the day. And for this one, it's Aquamarine, and I'm choosing to pull out Sleepy Hollow because I only have two colors, maybe three. I for sure have two colors left, possibly three. I don't have much left in it, and one of the colors is the light teal color, so Aquamarine, and the green. 16th, I decided to name that Luck Be a Lady because of the 17th being St. Patrick's Day, so I wanted to do something with green in it. So again, I gave myself a second day for Sleepy Hollow because I have blue and green left in the pattern, so I felt like color a day and luck. I don't know why I did Luck Be a Lady. I guess I should have been Luck of the Irish, but it kind of just played in my head whenever I was working on this, the song. So anyways, that's what happened. The 17th is a new start, and I'm going to work on the new start from the 17th to the 19th, and that one is going to be Ahoy. And Ahoy is also a Stitchrovia pattern. It's nautical themed, and it is really, really, really cute. It has like a net with like little crabs and fish stuck in it, and it has like sailor flags. It's really, really, really cute. If you haven't ever seen it, go to our Etsy shop. It's adorable. The 20th through the 23rd is again a seasonal quarter start, and that's for Sensational Spring. And for Sensational Spring, I'm going to work on magical creatures. And I'm going to work on this because it has a lot of different creatures and different ones for each month. And so hopefully I'll be on a month or close to a month that has like a squirrel or an owl or something really cute for that. The 24th through the 26th is going to be my weekend whip, and I'm going to work on my Pin Pal sampler and get another, hopefully at least one more stamp in and finished. And then the 27th through the 28th is my Christmas SAL. Told you that would come into play in March. And for this one, I'm going to work on Merry and Bright, which is going to be a new start. It's a Frosted Pumpkin pattern that got released this year, which a lot of you know. But I'm going to start that. And then the 29th through the 31st, notice how I always put the Halloween ones at the very end of the month. That's because it's really fun that it hits on the 31st. I just, hidden meanings and everything, right guys? But the Halloween SAL for the last 3 days of the month, I plan on working on the Halloween sampler, which is also by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. On to April. April architecture. So for the first 6 days of the month is April architecture, and for this one I just have Pretty Little. So I have two Pretty Little cities started. I have Pretty Little Italy and Pretty Little DC. I have it down for 6 days. I haven't decided if I'm going to do 3 days on one, 3 days on another. I think whichever one strikes my fancy in April, I'm just going to pull that one out and start working on it. And if I get bored of it, I'll pull out the other one for the rest of the time. Or I'm not too far in the Pretty Little Italy, but I am a decent ways in my Pretty Little DC. So if I end up finishing, if I do pull that one out first and end up finishing it, then I'll work on the other one as well. So I don't know. I'm just going to see how I feel in April. But it will be A Pretty Little City by Satsuma Street. I just don't know which one. The 7th through the 9th is going to be my weekend whip. And for that, I'm going to work on Giant Harry Potter. The 10th through the 12th is Sensational Spring. So for Sensational Spring, I am going to pull out my whip Mermaid Lagoon. And I'm doing that because it has a lot of fish, and it's nautical, and Sensational Spring, at least down here in Texas, it starts getting a little bit warmer, and people start going to the beach and talking about all that kind of stuff. So I thought that one would be a really fun one to work on. The 13th through the 14th is tax day. So actually, I put in here that I would work on Pretty Little DC on those 2 days. So I don't know, that might sway me to start with Pretty Little Italy on the 1st. Not really sure. But taxes, DC, makes sense. So that's why I put that. If it turns out a different way from the first week of the month, then I'll change what pattern I work on. The 15th color a day is Diamond. I honestly didn't really know what I would do for that because I'm not really working on anything with Krennic, or at least not that color of Krennic. So I picked Up and Away, which is a frosted pumpkin design. It's really small, and it's the little bunny in the hot air balloon. They did it, I believe, for a kind of fundraiser, like for a cause, and then they released it somewhere else temporarily and then put it on their website. It's super adorable. So I did that for the 15th color of a day. And then the 16th, I named it Hoppy Easter. And so I also have Up and Away for that because it has a bunny and it's Easter. So maybe I can get that done. It is really small. The 17th, New Start. I have my Pen Pal stamp collection, which you're probably saying, that's not a new start. However, if I start a new stamp, because technically all of the stamp patterns are their own patterns, I chose to design in Excel a stamp layout once all of them came out, or once they kind of revealed how many were left. I designed a layout for them. So if you would like an emailed copy of that layout, find me on Instagram at KelliAnn86 and send me a direct message, and I will email you the Excel document. And there's 2 different ways that you can lay yours out for the Pen Pal stamps. So I plan on the 17th to start a new stamp, is what that means. The 18th through the 22nd is Earth Stitch, because it is Earth Day on the 22nd. So I wanted to stitch something Earth related. So I'm going to pull back out my National Parks by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery that I'm starting in December. The 24th through the 26th is my Christmas SAL, and I'm planning on working on Santa's Coming to Town Again by Stitchrovia. The 27th through the 30th is my Halloween SAL, and I plan to work on Halloween Cat, which is by Satsuma Street. On to May. For Mania, I think this will probably be like my longest video ever made. It's a good possibility. For May, what May is 15 new starts in the first 15 days. Last year was my first year to ever do it, and I did 15 new starts in the month, but I did them every other day, so that way I could kind of see more progress, and once I put it away, I put it away. This year, because that really did kind of drive me crazy, and I had a lot of whips afterwards, which can drive one a little bonkers. Weird. Sorry. So what I'm going to do is 2 days of a new start, 2 days of a whip. So I will end up having 8 new starts and 7 whips, and then I break for the color of the day as well, which is a whip. So kind of 8 and 8. So the first 2 days with the new start, I'm going to try to work on Trick or Treat by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery because it will be a new start. The third and fourth is a whip, and I want to work on Ahoy by Stitchrovia. The fifth and sixth new start will be part 3 of the You Are My Sunshine song by Stitchrovia. It's the only part that I have not started. My 7th and 8th will be another whip, and that'll be Merry and Bright. So I'm going to pull that back out and work on that a little bit more. The 9th and 10th is a new start, and I'm going to start on the sewing machine. I can't remember its official name, but it came from a magazine, and it is by Emma Congdon or Stitchrovia. It's just not on her Etsy site yet to buy, but it's a really, really pretty pattern, and I think it's called A Stitch in Time. I think it's called A Stitch in Time, but it's a sewing machine, and it's made up of words, so it's another typography, but the words make a sewing machine, and it's really, really, really pretty. And I wanted to start that last mania, but there was technical difficulties with the pattern. The 11th to 12th is another whip, and I'm going to work on Trick or Treat again by Frosted Pumpkin. The 13th through the 14th is a new start, and I'm going to work on Woodland Creatures by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. The 15th is Color a Day, Emerald, so I'm going to work on Good Morning. It's the Rooster by Satsuma Street. There's a lot of green in that pattern, and, well, there's not a lot of green on that pattern, but I'm also stitching it on green. There is green in the pattern. So I want to work on him again because that's just going to be a really fun pattern for me. I already know it. The 16th to 17th is another whip, and I'm going to work on Good Morning for 2 more days just because I can. The 18th and 19th is another new start, and I'm going to work on Emerald City by Satsuma Street. It is kind of like the Pretty Little Cities, except for it's the Emerald City. And you're probably going to wonder why I'm not going to do that on Color a Day since it's Emerald. But I kind of did that after, I wrote it in there after I'd planned the other one out, and I'm not a big fan of having too many scribbles in my calendar. So I didn't really feel like doing that. If you want the honest answer. The 20th through the 21st is another whip. And I want to finally finish Dream Big Little One by Stitchrovia. And I want to give that to my next door neighbors who are having a little baby. They found out about a month ago. So I'm pretty excited about that. The 22nd through the 23rd. There's a challenge on Stitch Mania for one of the admins. Her birthday is, I can't remember, either the 22nd or the 23rd. I want to say the 23rd, but don't quote me on that. But her birthday is in May, and she's a huge Doctor Who fan. So one of the challenges is on the day of her birthday to work on Doctor Who. So I made one of the new starts to encompass her birthday, and I'm going to start my Doctor Who sampler by Clouds Factory. The 24th to the 25th is another whip, and I'm going to work on Hillscape by Stitchrovia. It is what I'm starting for my new start in January. 26th to 27th is another new start, and I'm going to work on Giant London. This is another Stitchrovia, and it is very different from the Great Britain sampler. It's more of like iconic buildings, and it's not monochromatic, but it's kind of like the colors of the rainbow, and like solid, like kind of like solid, like this building is all one color, this building or symbol is all one color, and it's kind of, it's a diamond shape. So if you go to her Etsy shop, you will see that. But it's, I forget what the actual name is. I just call it Giant London. The 28th to 29th is another whip, and I'm going to work on Giant London those 2 days as well, so 4 straight days. The 30th through the 31st is my last new start, and I'm going to start Brave by Donna Stitch, and her site is on Etsy. If you haven't seen her Disney fairy tales, They are to die for. They're so cute. I'm in love with the Brave one. So I definitely want to start working on, I want to do those really bad. Like really bad. And she's coming out with soon. She's coming out with Alice in Wonderland, Snow White, Lion King, and Princess and the Frog, and Mulan, I think it said, on her Etsy page. So be on the lookout for those. Now, the rest of the year, I definitely don't have as much. There's a ton of blank space in my months, as you can see. So I'm just going to kind of quickly go through them. A lot of these, I don't even know yet what I'm going to do for them, but June definitely has Weekend Whip. I don't have anything planned. It has Color a Day, no plan. New Start, no plan. My day in between, though, on the 16th is going to be called Sweet Summertime, and I'm going to work on the Summer pattern by the Frosted Pumpkin. Then the 21st through the 24th is called Stupendous Summer. So there was only 2 months of the spring quarter, and that's because May fell into that quarter. And I decided Stitch Mania kind of overruled doing a third month of that quarter. So June is the first quarter month for the summer, and it's Stupendous Summer. And again, I'm going to work on this summer pattern by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. It's the one where they're like surfing in the sandcastle. Then at the end of the month, I have my Christmas SAL and my Halloween SAL. Again, I have nothing written down for these, mainly because I have the first 5 months of the year planned out already, and I kind of need to see what I don't want to start writing stuff down for the Christmas or the Halloween yet towards the end half of the month or year, because I don't know if I will have finished something or what's still going to be a whip, or you know what I mean, because I may finish some of those before it gets to June. So I don't want to go too much ahead with some of these. July, the 1st through the 4th, the monthly theme was Patriotic Pride. I do not have a pattern written down for that as of right now. The 15th, I have Color a Day, and it's Ruby, and I have Sparkler Party. It's by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And it's a little girl holding the little, it's very small. It's a very small little pattern. And I may start her for Patriotic Pride. I'm not really sure at this moment. The 16th, I have as God Bless America. That's that in-between day. And I have Sparkler Party down for that as well. 17th, I have a New Start. The 18th to the 20th, I have Stupendous Summer, and nothing written down for that. And I know that my Weekend Whip will be the 21st to the 23rd. That is all that I have written down for July. August. August has a theme of all creatures. So from the 1st to the 5th, I'm going to be working on all creatures. And I wrote down my Woodlands Creatures by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. Magazine Mashup is also in August, which I thought was kind of fun. So from the 6th to the 10th, I'm going to work on Magazine Mashup. And if I can get my hands on the magazine, I have written down Xmas Pudding, because that's what's on it's Christmas Pudding by Emma Congdon or Stitchrovia. It's in Cross Stitcher, the November edition, but I don't know if I'm be able to get my hands on it. So if I can, that pattern is in there. If not, I'm really just hoping that it'll be on her Etsy site before August, so I can buy it and work on it. If not, I'm going to have to pick something else. But I don't typically buy magazines anymore because of an issue. There's a video about it from several months ago, if you're curious to know what that's all about. And it's with Cross Stitcher too. But I really want that pattern because I own her Pancakes pattern, the Victoria Sponge pattern. So this is like the 3rd recipe pattern that she has put out. So I really want to get that. If not, I do have the pancakes pattern, so maybe I'll just do the pancakes one. But I don't really want to. I want to work on this one. So we'll see what happens. The 11th is World Cross Stitch Day. I have not written down anything for that yet. The 12th through the 14th, I have marked for Stupendous Summer. Nothing down for that yet. I have Color a Day on the 15th as Peridot. And the 16th, I put Ready to Rumble, and that's because it's the start of football season. I don't really have anything football themed, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to do for that, but we'll see. There's plenty of time to figure it out. 17th is a new start, and then the 18th through the 20th is my weekend whip, and that's all that I planned for August. September. This month actually has a lot of themes taking up my month, and a couple of them already planned out, and so, yeah. The 1st to the 7th is Return to Hogwarts, and that is a theme on Stitcherovia, and it's really exciting because September 1st is the first day of school at Hogwarts, which I messed up this last year. My bad. But I'm going to work on my giant Harry Potter. Would I work on anything else? Probably not. So I'm going to work on that for 7 days straight. And then the 8th through the 10th I have as my weekend whip with nothing written down because I don't know what will be a whip then. The 11th through the 14th is Fantastic Fall. And for this one, I want to work on the Autumn Sampler by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This is one where I had started it and I hadn't gotten very far, but I got new fabric in a different size count and that one that I like. And so I'm going to restart it. So we'll see. The 15th is Color a Day, and it's Sapphire. I have not picked anything for this yet. The 16th is called Make Mom Proud. If you watched any of my videos from September this last year, September 5th is my mom's birthday, and September 24th, this year will be the 10th, this upcoming year will be the 10th anniversary of her passing on the 24th of September, 2007. So, the 16th is kind of like a Make Mom Proud. So that's another reason why I picked some of these patterns for this month. She was also a huge Harry Potter fan. And she really liked autumn. And, yeah. So, anyways, the 17th is a new start. And I'm going to start Voyage by Satsuma Street. And then the 18th, so the 19th was also a challenge day called Talk Like a Pirate. So the 18th didn't have anything. So I made the 18th Anchors Away, and the 18th and 19th, I'm also going to work on Voyage. So I kind of took into play with the challenges already there. The 20th through the 22nd I have as Back to School. I don't know what that's going to be yet. If I haven't started the Pen Pal stamp, that's the little girl with like the bookworm, I might start that because that'll go with it, and that's pretty much my only back to school type pattern. So we'll see. And the 23rd through the 24th, this is the only month where I've moved it from the end of the month, is my Halloween SAL, and that's because, like I said, if you watched any of my videos from September of this past year, the 24th on the anniversary is whenever I decorate for Halloween, and I stay kind of recluse to myself, and I watch Halloween movies all day and that kind of thing, so I moved my Halloween SAL to the 23rd and 24th. To keep with the theme of what I've been doing for the last this year will be 10 years on the anniversary of that. October, the 1st through the 7th, I have the challenge Travel the World with no pattern yet to put down there. So we'll see what I come up with for that. If I haven't finished my postcards yet, maybe I'll just save it for October and finish postcards in October, a year later. I have on the 15th Color a Day, which is Opal, which is my birthstone. I do not have a pattern written down for this, but I'll probably do something with like crazy rainbow threads. 16th, I put Cupcake on Me as my random theme because it is my birthday month. 17th is a new start, and we'll see what that is going to be. And the 18th through the 19th, I have Fantastic Fall written down. And the 20th through the 22nd is my weekend whip. And then that's all that I have in that month. Usually the fall is super crazy busy for me because of football games and my birthday and preparing for the holidays and yada, 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 yada. So we'll see. November, the 1st through the 4th. Turn that off. The 1st through the 4th is 50K Stitch. And I honestly can't really remember the parameters for this. I don't really remember. I'll have to look it up closer to that day, and whenever I do my November month, I will talk more about it, because right now, drawing a blank. The 15th is Color a Day, and it's citrine, nothing written down. 16th is Turkey Day, nothing written down. And the 17th is a new start. The 24th through the 26th is my weekend whip. The 27th through the 30th is Fantastic Fall. I didn't write down a Halloween or a Christmas yet, but there's plenty of days to add that. December, the 1st through the 5th, the challenge is Disney December. So I thought this would be really perfect. I'm going to work on another donut stitch. In this one, I'm going to start the Aladdin donut stitch because it is also so pretty and so cute. So for the Disney December, I'm going to work on that. The 15th is Color a Day, and it's turquoise. The 16th, I put Butter My Biscuit because I didn't know what else to put. It happens. The 17th is a new start, and the 18th through the 21st is Whimsical Winter again. Nothing written down because I have no idea what wintry projects I'll have at that time. The 22nd through the 24th is my weekend whip, and then the 25th through the 28th is Final Countdown number 1, and the 29th through the 31st is Final Countdown number 2. What that means is whatever 2 whips I think I can finish in those amount of days will be what I work on. So whenever it gets to closer to December, I'll know what whips I'm really close to finishing, and I'm going to try to get 2 final finishes at the end of the year. So that'll be Final Countdown number 1 and Final Countdown number 2. That is my proposed plan for the year, and we will see how that goes, because we all know I like to change things up last minute, and sometimes things just happen, or you can't get a hold of a pattern or certain embroidery floss colors or what have you, and my phone is blowing up. And so yeah, that's my proposed plans for the year. I hope y'all really enjoyed this video and like seeing how I plan out my calendar and kind of what I'm going to be working on this upcoming year. And hopefully some more challenges that I'm interested in get posted. But if not, I've been having fun creating my own. So do it yourself. Like the weekend whip, I really like that because it's going to help me focus at least 1 weekend a month. And that's not to say with some of the other themes I'm throwing in whips. They aren't all new starts. But having a specific weekend focused on whips is going to help me get whips done this year, hopefully. So anyways, thank y'all all for watching, and I hope you really enjoyed it and maybe found some like really useful tips or informations about patterns. I will attempt to put all of the patterns that I listed in the information down below, and the names, and yeah, Etsy is a great resource for donut stitches, Stitchrovia, and Satsuma Street. Those 3 you will buy on Etsy. The Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, they have their own site, and Clouds Factory, they have their own site. But if you Google any of those names, you'll get the appropriate links, I promise. But as always, Thank you all so much, and I hope that y'all are having a really great November, and I will see y'all very soon. Bye, guys.